Opendoor's new product is actually coming nicely along, okay? Not only they made it in like 5 weeks instead of like, I don't know, 30 weeks, right? They are actually kind of seeing great first results, okay? All about that and much more here in this video.
Welcome to the game, I'm the wolf of Dubai.
Welcome to a brand new video. If you don't watch me for very long, or maybe this is your first video, then make sure to subscribe because I'm talking about stocks that can absolutely explode over the next couple of weeks, months, and years. And I did this with other stocks where my subscribers totally subscribe for free, bought houses and apartments. And I also have my own day trading group where we trade all for you. It's all done for you. It's all super straightforward and hands off, where I believe there's no other product out there. But we are increasing our joining fee like every single month. And on the website, if you click it, you will see the countdown of how many people are still able to join this month before we're raising our joining fee. So make sure, go out, schedule a call with me, 15 minutes, and we see even if we can help you as well, right? If we're not, I will point you to the right direction. If yes, then would be lovely to have you on board in our family. Now, with that said, let's dive into the first video of our Kat, CEO of Opendoor.
Some testing of a mortgage product with Lennar. Where is Opendoor in extending the services opportunity? What should our expectation for 2026 be for Opendoor to be able to attach more adjacent products to transactions?
I feel like I'm now in a football theme, so I need to find a football analogy. I just don't have one. Okay. Look, like I said, we started building our mortgage product in January, and we're going to launch it in beta this week. I showed it to Christy last night. I'm very bullish on this product. I think it's going to be good. It's going to take us a second to get all the right things because that's how products work. But I'm very bullish, and we're going to have more news on this soon. I think there was a part of the question that was about unit economics. Let me hand wave, because I think the unit economics of the mortgage space are like relatively well understood. We're going to do some special things about them, but let us tell you about them when we do those things. So I think the primary unknown question is this: what will be our attach for mortgage and adjacent products, right? How many people who buy or sell a home from Opendoor take a mortgage from us? I have a hypothesis, but not a good answer. I've done this a couple of times, but we're going to under-promise and over-deliver here. But separately, I think there's a very likely that there's a world where we have partners, especially our home builder partners, that use some of the software we're building. We're building a new stack with the help of some partners, and it will be more finely tuned to people who own assets they're selling than a typical mortgage stack. I still don't have a football analogy.
We can come back. Our next question comes to us from Dae Lee from JP Morgan, who's asking, what has stood out to you so far about the quality and profitability of the homes you're buying since ramping up acquisitions? Any surprises as you've picked up the pace, and have those led to any changes in your approach? And looking ahead, what are the key factors or milestones you're watching most closely to gauge progress toward your current profitability and margin targets?
Thank you for the question, Dae. As you may have noticed, the October 2025 acquisition cohort is something we've been paying a lot of attention to. And that is because that's the first cohort where we had the offers, the contracts, the acquisitions, and now 50% of the resales are under the Opendoor 2.0 model. So it is a very important source of data for us. The performance of this cohort isn't just one thing. It's everything working together for the first time. So I talked earlier about selection and spread dispersion, but we are targeting higher quality, higher velocity homes so that we can turn them faster and get better selection. When you have better selection coming through the door, that really improves our operations. Those are homes that we can get relisted faster and have less variance in outcomes. And then it comes to the resale systems and our ethos. We as an organization fundamentally believe that it's better to identify a margin optimized clearing price than to wait around for the perfect offer to come along. And so our machine learning pricing model it has meaningfully improved the precision of pricing decisions. Better demand signals, better timing, and better calibration at the individual home level rather than blanketed spread reduction or price reductions. The result, resale velocity in our October cohort was 2x what it was in October 2024, and with margins that exceeded our expectations. And so that puts to rest the idea that speed and margin are a trade-off. We've shown the answer to both can be yes in a market that, frankly, no one would characterize as particularly strong. To answer your question about surprises, I think what surprised us was how quickly some of the changes we put in place showed up in our results. For example, the degradation. And so when you have a cohort of homes that you buy, you expect the homes that you sell right up front to probably perform a little bit better than the homes later in the cohort. But in this last October cohort, we saw that from 10% to 50%, our margins basically held flat. They were actually up about 18 bips. And that was during a tough market. And so seeing that flat degradation was very promising. Finally, you asked about looking ahead, and I guess I would just bring us back to our management objectives. Scale acquisitions. We've said we want to exit the year with 6,000 acquisitions per quarter, and that will set us up well for our adjusted net income profitability. As a reminder, we're now available through the lower 48, and we'll start leaning into marketing in Q1 as we expand to reach those markets. Objective number 2 is improving margin and resale velocity so that we return to our 5 to 7% targeted CM. And objective 3, build operating leverage as we rescale. Fixed operating expenses flat or down, and trailing 12-month operation expense flat as a percentage of revenue or down.
So as you can see, as a company that is evolving specifically into like a very old market, the housing market, they want to make sure that, okay, we have one product that really works, but how we can squeeze out more juice out of the whole process, right? The whole process is like that. The renovation, then the selling, then the financing as well. So they now attack the last point of financing, okay? So they say, okay, why should banks or other companies make profits with the mortgage, right? Well, we are the initiator of the whole process, and we can add to the supply chain and just say like, hey, we have a product for that, use our product, we get just more percentage of profits, and therefore just expand much more and can maybe offer a much better deal to people for the whole brilliant experience. He said many times that the number one thing to be number one, to be the standard for people in the US to buy and sell a home is to have a beautiful process. In my personal experience, if you have a process that is from one hand and through from the beginning till the end, one company, it's always way more relaxed. And the company can get much more of the value creation of that process, right? I feel that this is beautiful. I also super amazed how fast they did this, right? They said like they did this in like a couple of weeks, while people said this will take like a half a year or more longer. But Cass is pushing, and this is why we love this new, CEO and his team. They're absolutely killing it. And with that said, I believe that we are very, very nicely prepared for the near future. So with that said, check out xnDayTrading.com if you want us to day trade for you before we raising our joining fee in about like 4 or 3 days. And also make sure to come here back tomorrow for a brand new open video, because the grass is greener always on the other side.